Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at 4 players the 49ers could go ahead and draft at number 13 overall. Before we jump in, let me just say this. It could be a wide receiver. We all expect it to be a wide receiver, but I'm not just going to list 4 wide receivers that we can draft. I'm going to give you one wide receiver I think is most likely the guy we take at number 13, and then some other players at other positions as well. We'll start at defensive tackle and USC's Javon Kinlaw. Now, listen, here's the deal. My thought process on this one was, wide receiver is obviously the number 1 need right now after losing Emmanuel Sanders. What's need number 2? Well, we did lose DeForest Buckner, so defensive line, to me, is still very, very important despite the talent we have on right now. And Javon Kinlaw would be the Buckner replacement. He's the second best D tackle in this draft behind, of course, Auburn's Derek Brown, who's going to go inside the top 10. There's a very real possibility that Kinlaw is going to be there. Solomon Thomas, DJ Jones, they're kind of your, I guess, fill-in D-tackle guys right now, but they both can't be trusted. I mean, Thomas has been a bust his entire career, and then, of course, you look at DJ Jones, he was injured last year, so I'm not sold on that being our fix to the defensive tackle need that we have right now with DeForest Buckner. Kinlaw, again, second best D-tackle in the draft behind, of course, Derek Brown. If Derek Brown fell to 13, I think the 49ers would take him in a heartbeat, but there's no way that he is going to be there. And I'll argue, listen, for as important as wide receiver is, defensive line still needs to be a focus in this draft. Now, I know we're great at defensive line. We might still have the best defensive line in the National Football League, but, D Ford's going to age, and we're not going to be elite forever. So you got to continually draft defensive linemen to continually, hopefully, stay good and elite at pass rusher. And so I think defensive tackle and Javon Kinlaw could be an option for the 49ers at number 13 overall. Last year, 35 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. He has been a very dominant force at USC, and I think adding him to our defensive line would make a lot of sense overall. Think about this. Kinlaw could mix in with Ford, Armstead, Bosa, and then, of course, Kinlaw right there, and you're starting 4 to go ahead and fill the DeForest Buckner hole. DeForest Buckner leaving. Everyone's so excited we got number 13 overall, and, of course, I'm one of those people. That's a great trade. You're still losing a guy who was very, very talented last year and had a lot of production on the 49er defensive line. Because we have so much talent there already, Kinlaw would come in, dominate, play very, very well. This is a very real option, in my opinion, if we don't go wide receiver at number 13 overall. Quick ad break here on YouTube, but I want you guys to answer this question. Which position do you think, honestly, is a bigger need? It's a pinned comment down below. Is it wide receiver or defensive tackle? Type just WR for wide receiver, DT for D tackle, or expand and explain why. I know we all want to go wide receiver, but I think that we get a little too narrow-minded on that, and so I wanted to give some other options here at number 13, starting with Javon Kinlaw, the DT from USC. All right, moving on. I did say we were going to give you guys one wide receiver, so I started thinking of who do I actually think will be there at 13 and who do I actually think the Niners would take. And I came down to the wide receiver out of Bama, not Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs. Okay, so here's the deal. Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb are better. That's a fact. Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb are better wide receivers, but they're not going to be there at number 13. I'll be shocked if they're going to be there at number 13. We'll explain here in 1 second. Ruggs, the fastest wide receiver in the draft, ran a 4.27 40 at the NFL Combine. He is unreal in terms of his measurables. His high jump was incredible. His long jump was really good. His 3-cone, his 40. We all know he measured up great at the combine, but CeeDee Lamb is still the best wide receiver in the draft. But we need a guy to take the top off over a defense, because that is not, of course, Deebo Samuel, and that is not Jalen Hurts. So in terms of fitting him into this 49er offense, I think Henry Ruggs makes a lot of sense. Last year, 40 catches, 746 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And again, we'll go ahead and show the graphic of the top 4 wide receivers in the draft with Lamb, Jeudy, Ruggs, and Tee Higgins rounding out the top 4. But I just think with the way that the draft is set, you see it on your screen right now, Cleveland there at 10, the Jets at 11, obviously the Raiders at 12, and the 49ers at 13. I think the Jets and the Raiders are going to take CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. So if they are not there, then I think they're going to go with Henry Ruggs. Now, I'll just say it one more time. That way we're all very clear. If Jeudy or Lamb is there at 13, the Jets and Raiders do not take them at 12 and 11, then you think you for sure take either Jeudy or Lamb. But I was trying to think of someone who would be for sure there, who would make a lot of sense there if the other wide receivers are out of the picture. The only other receiver to me that I would consider at 13, if it's not Jeudy, Lamb, or Ruggs, would probably be Justin Jefferson out of LSU. Now, we'll throw those stats, compare them up. Justin Jefferson's stats are way better than Ruggs last year, and he was playing alongside Jamar Chase, who's probably going to be the best wide receiver in next year's draft. He still caught 18 touchdowns. He still dominated, but people think Ruggs is going to be a better pro overall. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I think Ruggs will be the pick at 13 over Justin Jefferson, although I wanted to put the comparison out here. That way you guys can go ahead and check it out for yourself. Again, I want CeeDee Lamb. He's the best receiver in this draft. If I could have anyone, it'd be CeeDee Lamb. But I don't think he's getting past number 12 with Oakland. I think if Lamb is there at 12, Oakland takes him. I think if Lamb's there at 11, then obviously the Jets are going to take them. So my likely candidate here for wide receiver, if I had to pick one that I would put money on who the 49ers would take, it would have to be Henry Ruggs. Who would you guys rather have? Would you rather have Henry Ruggs or Justin Jefferson? You just saw Justin Jefferson's stats, although if you've watched them play, you know why people kind of lean a little bit towards Henry Ruggs. Who would you rather have in the 49ers, Henry Ruggs or Justin Jefferson? I'm going to read the comments in the comment description, or in the comments down below. Excuse me. Also, I mentioned this yesterday, but if you missed yesterday's video, there are a lot of 49er jerseys that have some really good deals right now, all authentic at chatsports.com/49jersey, and free shipping is still available. All you use is the promo code FREESHIP. You see it on your screen right now, and that way you can get in on the action. A brand new 49er jersey ready for whenever the 2020 season starts, I guess. I guess you can wear it at your house right now whenever you're locked inside for quarantine. But free shipping, that's important. I got you guys. A little gift from me to you. Free shipping there on your new 49er jersey. Okay, moving on. I don't want to just get bogged down on just thinking wide receiver and defensive tackle, because I think there are some players that if they do fall, and I think this draft has a chance to be quarterback heavy, meaning players are going to fall, the 49ers would go ahead and jump all over. And that, of course, is linebacker Isaiah Simmons. He's one of the best players in this draft and might be the best player in this draft. Literally, the entire draft might come down to in 10 years we go, oh, Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, the linebacker, was the best player in this draft. And again, I say this because I just mentioned I don't think Jeudy or Lamb are going to be there, but Simmons could if you have the Justin Herbert, Jordan Love run on quarterbacks early, and then, you have Derek Brown go, and then you have the cornerback go a little bit earlier, the one out of Ohio State. There are a lot of options in terms of other players teams might need more than a linebacker, and I'm telling you guys, if Isaiah Simmons is there at 13, don't care what wide receiver is on the board, the 49ers will take him. Now, do they need a linebacker? The answer is no. The linebacker depth chart is already packed, but Simmons, as you see on your screen right now, is an absolute baller. He's the best linebacker I think we've seen in a very long time come out of the NFL draft. There's been some really good linebackers come out of the NFL draft, and if you were to replace Greenlaw with Simmons, the linebacking core gets way better. And Greenlaw will still see the field, and he was good last year. I mean, Drake and Greenlaw had a very good 2019 and really had the tackle that saved the 49ers from having the 1 seed. I mean, it was an incredible tackle at the goal line of Seattle. Of course, if you all remember watching the game. But you just go back to, if you could upgrade a position for the 49ers, linebacker is not the number one need right now, but if you have a chance to get this guy, you draft the best player available at number 13, and if it's Isaiah Simmons, you run it to the stage, you hand it to the commissioner and say, we're going to take him, then we'll have the best linebacking core in football. You remember last year, Quan Alexander was injured, so you would have been nice to have Dre Greenlaw and Isaiah Simmons. The likelihood of this happening is not as likely as the first two. It's why it's number 3 here as we go down this list of 4. But I'm telling you, there could be a run on quarterbacks. We could see Isaiah Simmons fall, and if somehow he gets out of the top 10, San Francisco could be that option there at number 13. Before we keep going, be sure to subscribe to the 49ers Report, because, listen, you guys are stuck inside. We're stuck inside too, but we're still working for you, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. And if you do, go ahead and click the red subscribe button down below as we approach 20,000 subs here on the 49ers Report. Also, click the notification bell, the way you're notified whenever we drop new videos, which we basically do every single day here on the 49ers Report. The final option here would be the big surprise of the first round in terms of what the 49ers could do, but I think that there's a very real possibility the 49ers could do this, and that would be draft a cornerback. More specifically, C.J. Henderson out of UF. So he's the second best cornerback in the draft behind the one from Ohio State. Okudah is obviously the best cornerback in this draft. He will go in the top 10. Another reason why Isaiah Simmons could drop back, because Okudah is going to go before Isaiah Simmons, in my opinion, just based on need of the teams inside the top 10. And you could have Richard Sherman, one of the best cornerbacks in my lifetime, mentor this guy and become the next great cornerback, because Sherman's not going to be there in 5 years. Will he be there in 2 years? Yeah, 3 years? Maybe. I mean, Richard Sherman, as great as he was last year, Pro Football Focus rated him the best cornerback in the league. Still, there's a ticking time bomb when it comes to Richard Sherman's age that we don't want to admit, but is true. And of course, Emmanuel Moseley on the other side is still unproven. So there's a very real possibility that a Moseley doesn't have a good year next year, and then suddenly you have a hole at cornerback that you did not expect to have, and so C.J. Henderson fills that slot. Again, I would take Okudah if he would be there, but he's not going to be there at number 13, so we got to be realistic. The one knock on Henderson, besides the fact he struggles in the running game, which most cornerbacks do these days, besides like the really, really big ones, is that he did not have an interception in 2019, but still has the ball skills to be a great cornerback in the National Football League. And again, if Emmanuel Moseley is not going to be the guy, which I expect him to be, but if he's not going to be the guy, then maybe you shock everybody, you take a cornerback, that way you future-proof that secondary after re-signing Jimmy Ward, and of course, whenever Richard Sherman goes ahead and retires. Moseley last year comes in for Ahkello Witherspoon, plays well as the starting cornerback in the postseason, but at the same time, there's a very real possibility he's not going to be a great player for the next 16 games in 2020, and so you could try to mask that by going for C.J. Henderson out of UF. Again, second best cornerback behind Okudah. I would take Okudah first out of Ohio State, but after Okudah and Henderson, it's a big drop-off in terms of corners, so getting one, let's say you trade out of number 31, you move back, getting one in the second or third round is not going to be as lucrative, as you could say, in terms of talent on the field skill as C.J. Henderson out of UF. It could be a surprise pick, honestly, at number 13 overall. Okay, final question here. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Who do you guys think? If you could take anybody, or who do you guys think, the 49ers should take at number 13 overall? If you were going to bet your money on who they're going to take, let me know who you guys think that is in the comment section down below. And that's it. There's your list of 4. I wanted to give you guys options here. A D tackle, a wide receiver, and again, most likely, in my opinion, it will be a wide receiver, but which one? We made our pick there, Henry Ruggs. And of course, a linebacker, that'd be the dream pick if he's going to fall in terms of Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. And then finally, a surprise, but kind of a practical future-proofing pick with C.J. Henderson at number 13 as well. All the time we have for today. For the 49ers Report, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.